You may remember how excited I was, and I'm probably sure that you were as well, about the lineup that Epiphone put together for the Bocce the Rock theme tune cover, including, well, Asaka from Trident, who I just think is one of the greatest lead people we've got at the current moment. Fantastic guitarist, amazing vocalist. Kaho from FAULIEU, who I just fell in love with her since I saw her playing live, and she's just one of the most chilled out but just on point lead guitarists you've ever seen. And then on top of that, we have an amazing online bassist, Chloe, who I didn't know much about, but I'd seen a couple of her videos, watched more now. She's really cool, solid, has a great personality as well. And then on the drums, we've got the drummer who did all of the mocap stuff for Bocce the Rock. This is just quite a lineup we got here. And so I was really amazed and excited to see them doing that first video. I'm even probably more surprised to see Gibson have got them back and they're doing a song from Kaho. I might not know Kaho as well, but wow, am I excited to have these back. And like a lot of people were saying in the comments on social media, I can't help but hope that this leads to maybe something more permanent. But for now, I'm just excited they're here doing it. So let's talk about their cover of Don't Be Lazy. Hi there, welcome back to Japan, and it's not Don't Be Lazy, it's Don't Say Lazy. Sorry, I got the title of the song wrong. Anyway, let's first of all talk about this song, because there are so many great things to say about this video. We do have to talk about the song first of all, because like I said, I haven't watched Kaho yet. I'm kind of hoping to watch Kaho as part of my channel with Lyric Learner, where I've been talking a bit about music related anime. We started talking a lot about Bocce the Rock, and hopefully moving on to Kaho sometime in the future. But I haven't actually heard any of it yet. What I do know, however, is that Kaho is kind of like considered the quintessential sort of band, if not girls band, rock anime from Japan. It was around for a good few years. It had a movie and everything attached. It's very, very popular, which doesn't really surprise me, therefore, that it's given us a super catchy song. This is just a really good, catchy pop rock song. Now, the interesting thing here is a lot like the Bocce the Rock theme tune, it's written obviously by writers who know they want to deliver something that has impact, but at the same time are aware that they're writing for a band who are from an anime. And although I don't know Kaho, I believe it also has a similar thing that we're talking about young musicians who are in their first band. So they're not going for something super complicated here. They're going for something that sounds like it could be played by a very good quality but new band. And so it's simple, but it relies very much on the pop rock energy. Now, I would say that this, compared to the Bocce Rock theme tune that we heard them playing before for Epiphone, this is a catchier song. It's actually very catchy. It's really stuck in my head. Doesn't have quite the sort of riffing and everything that we had from the Bocce Rock theme tune, but here it's just much more about melody. And so I gotta admit, in a way, I actually kind of enjoyed this song more. It's simpler and perhaps you could argue more forgettable, but it really just, in the time when you listen to it, just really makes you want to get up on your feet and dance around. So from that side, great song, but kind of simple. So let's move on to more what this band brings to it. Given that this song is, from a writing perspective, a fairly simple, I'd rather say direct kind of pop rock song, we're not expecting anything particularly complicated from the rhythm section, and therefore the drums and the bass, very competent, but pretty simple. We're not really getting the most out of the two musicians there. They're solid though. They seem to just be having fun rocking out. It's not really sort of like pushing them to their limits. And you could say that for all four members of the band. However, the guitars and the vocals seem to be where most of the expression in this song comes through. Now, Asaka, as always, I don't want to just sort of be focusing too much on Asaka, but we all know that I'm a bit of a Trident fan. She does that thing that I really like, which is that she's one of the few sort of guitarist singers who she can both play and sing seemingly at the top of her ability at the same time. You get a lot of, I think we can agree, a lot of front people who, when they go to play the song, if they're singing at their best, it tends not to be the most complicated guitar line, and vice versa. So here it was just nice to kind of hear the fact that her voice was really sort of belting out the melody. It just, again, I'm not familiar with the original, but she just sounded like she was really able to use her voice. And in that sort of chorus, that really catchy chorus that you just want to sing along to and get up and shout along with her, yeah, her voice was really belting it out. I just felt the energy coming out of her, and she was nailing the guitar lines at the same time. However, again, not particularly pushing herself. Now, looking at Kaho, well, actually for both Kaho and Asaka, it was when we got into the solos that things really started to pick up for them. Now, again, I'm not the sort of person who sort of goes mad for, oh, complicated solos make a great song. The solo, when it works, works. And in this particular instance, the solo was kind of nice because the song had been fairly simple throughout. And I must admit, the first couple of times I listened to it, that was the main thing that grabbed me. But as time went on, I listened to it more and more. I just realized how much of a crescendo this song has, how the solos really help it build up. Now, a lot of that is to do with the production as well, which I'll get into in a second. It was nice how it built up. And that's where you really got to feel the expression coming through in the guitar work. So again, subtlety. Yes, we got the power of Asaka's voice was really helping project this song, but a lot of the subtlety in the guitar really helped it build up towards the end. So yes, not the most challenging thing for the drums and the bass. The guitars as well, for the most part, were playing fairly simple. I did, however, feel that it gave a sort of an energy that really started to feel more passion towards the end, and the vocal performance certainly carried it. 4 musicians doing a great job, even if not necessarily pushed to the extreme. Now, the production on this one and the mix is kind of a funny one because I was talking to someone on our Discord community, a very long time mod for our community, who I usually disagree with on a lot of things. And he was saying how he just thought the sound of this song, he's just like, this recording sounds terrible, sounds awful, he didn't like it, he thought it was badly mixed and everything. I think maybe I'm approaching this from a different angle. For me, yes, this wasn't, well, I really liked the mix. However, it wasn't like an ideal, yes, that's something I'd press to a CD kind of mix. This, to me, more felt like what you'd expect from Gibson Presents. It felt a bit like a tech demo, in that everything was very direct. Now, this is not to say you don't have guitar distortion and things like that. It's just, to me, this felt like if you've ever been in a studio and you listen to the band and they just record the songs and you nicely mic everything up, you nicely record it and you don't add any unnecessary effects beyond, like I say, the guitar distortion or the things that you'd naturally expect the musician to play with all the time on that particular song. It just felt like that. Very direct, very raw. Raw, not in that sort of garagey way where everything sounds powerful, just raw in that clean way. It was very clean. And so I can understand for some people this might feel a little bit too clinical, a little bit sanitized perhaps. However, I just kind of liked it out that way. Yes, it didn't quite have the growling energy that a more direct song like this would maybe want, and yet at the same time you got to hear the crispness of the guitar towards the end, you got to hear the crispness of the solos, and you certainly got to hear the voice nicely sort of fresh and able to project over the top of the guitars rather than drowned underneath a sea of distortion. So yes, this might not be to everyone's liking. However, I think if you just accept it for what it is, which is a sort of directly recorded, very underproduced recording, or really not produced recording, then on that front, it was absolutely brilliant. And this is actually a nice comparison for anyone who's not so familiar with what production does and wants to hear a good comparison of the difference. Go listen to this, and that's a kind of idea of what a song sounds like with no real production. In the future, I know this is a bit of a pipe dream. However, I was never expecting this team up to begin with. I certainly wasn't expecting them to come back. I know they've done one song for Epiphone, one for Gibson. They've done the 2, as far as I'm aware, most famous music animes, Bocce the Rock, Current, K-On, Classic. You know, I'm not expecting to have them come back. However, I would love to see more of this band. When I saw Trident live for the first time, I saw them live with FAULIEU, who at the time were Fleur Fleur, so with Kaho as well. So I saw them both on the stage at the same time and sharing the stage over the night. I'm a big fan of these people, and I would love to see them do more. Obviously, Trident seems to be very active at the current moment. They're doing a lot of things, as are FAULIEU, so I hope they do a lot together. I hope that none of it slows down the activity of their 2 bands. We never get these super groups. Obviously, they tend to be very fun, but they never quite have the individuality of the individual groups. So I hope as well that, I hope that none of this affects them doing what they usually do. However, they're young, they're active, and if they can do this on top of what they're already doing, then I am all for it. They seem to be both very much focused on the Tokyo circuit from what I see. So yeah, why not? Let's have more. Let's have FAULIEU, let's have Trident, let's have this band as well, give it a name or something. I am 100% all for that. I must say though, I don't think we're that lucky. Man, if they come up with a CD, even if it's just a CD of covers, I am there. So in conclusion, return of a band who I would consider a bit of a dream project. Really loved the 2 members who I already knew, and the 2 members who came in just turned out to be really fantastic. It's a song they're playing this time that doesn't really push them too hard, so we don't get to see the best of them. However, they do a great job, and the qualities they do bring to it are fantastic. The song itself, really catchy. As I mentioned, not exactly pushing anyone, however, it's very effective and it works, especially when delivered with that fantastic voice of Asaka, and a nice little build up at the end that gives it a crescendo worth hanging around with after you've heard the chorus. You know, it's got something to build with rather than just repeating the same chorus over and over again. So this was just good, simple, direct stuff. Got me excited for more, even if we never get it. Those are my conclusions. Get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan, for now, ciao, ciao.